Hi everyone, I'm Tim Andersen, and this is the live finale of the Dueling Gun Summit. We're super excited for everything that has happened in the last 8 days, and we're super grateful for all of the speakers that have joined us and shared all the wonderful information that we've been able to review for the last 8 days. I want to talk to you a little bit, go through a little bit of a summary of what I gained out of the summit, and then after that talk a little bit more about some of the bonuses that come along with the All Access Pass. First off, beginning the summit with Ken Blanchard was the best way to go to talk a little bit about the history of where a lot of the laws, especially when it comes to gun control, come from. There was a lot of racist roots in those gun control laws, and what I thought that was interesting about it is the culture that it has actually created. There should be a way to overcome that, to correct the culture that has been created. And I believe a lot of that is through information and understanding. If we can inform our friends about the Second Amendment, if we can inform them about where all this stuff comes from, especially when we see in the news and in politics, the changes as a big event, a catastrophic event will take place, where it plays off of people's emotions. And in a situation like that, it always seems like they jump on board to be able to pass laws because everybody's focused on it and everybody's very emotional about it. But what we don't focus on is how many people are protected each year, and how many people are responsible as they carry guns. And I think that needs to be more of the focus that we take, and we try to share that with our friends. And that has been the big movement of this summit, is to try to get information out there so that we're able to correct that culture that has been passed from generation to generation. Some of that understanding and that history, knowing that history, it's also helpful to know. It's also helpful to know the laws, the federal laws, and also what pertains to you in a situation. If you've carried a firearm and if you've discharged that firearm in different situations, and that's where William Hudson and J.J. Johnson really came into play. Is explain the laws that are federal across the United States on a federal level, and then also it kind of explains what you need to do to protect yourself if you discharge your firearm in a self-protection type situation. Even though it was in self-defense, you always need to make sure that you cover yourself and that you're going home to your family at the end of the day. The other thing that in hopes to change some of that culture was to take some of that fear away of buying and purchasing your first firearm. It's something that I've dealt with in the past, and I'm sure that I still need to overcome, especially when it comes to the different variety of guns that are out there, is getting over that hesitancy that plagues us. And the only way that we can do that is becoming familiar with guns, by touching them, by putting ourselves in a situation to where we become comfortable with them, going out with a friend and being able to fire those different types of guns and find out what fits us best, knowing what we want to use the firearm for, whether it's to protect ourselves, whether it's for hunting, or whether it's for sport. If you're going to do some target shooting and different things like that. So make sure that you understand what your purpose is first. Familiarize yourself with that gun, and then take the steps to make that purchase. Things are not going to get easier when it comes to guns. I believe that in the direction that our nation is going, it could be tougher to purchase firearms. And so it's important to get the training, familiarize yourself right now, and then go make that purchase. Moving on from that, it's good to know how a gun works. Jay was able to break it down and show us how the different individual guns work, and understanding that mechanism, because that's what it is. It's a machine. It's a mechanism. And it requires an operator, and an operator that knows how to use it and understands how it functions. And so being able to understand all of that is an important part in familiarizing yourself with guns as well, and taking away a little bit of that hesitancy. Going into Dan Abram, We covered a little bit about concealed carry, the things that are covered in class and the things that aren't, and then also the responsibility that comes along with that. It was interesting to understand how much is taught and how much is given that actually teaches you not to pull your gun. It's avoidance, going through every type of situations you possibly can, and to ensure that you don't put yourself in a tough situation where you have to pull that gun. And that goes back to the responsibility of a gun owner. And it's amazing to see how many different things that a gun owner goes through, especially in the concealed carry world, to ensure that it is done properly, and that you are being responsible. Talk a little bit more about responsibility. One of the greatest things was talking with Dustin Ellerman and discussing family safety. I mean, you think about it, if you're going to be an owner, they're in your homes, and it's something that you're excited about, and it's something that you're going to want to share with your family. So to be able to do that in a safe way is really important. And one of the key things that stood out to me is that when you take your family shooting, you're taking your family shooting. You're not going shooting. You're there as the responsible guide, this responsible leader, to be able to instruct them and teach them and help them be brought up around those, so that culture can change, so that fear is not there when it comes to these simple machines. The next few areas, we're talking more about what we can do in defense of firearms. In talking with Aaron Giannetti, in an active shooter type situation. It's something that we're seeing a lot more often now, and it's something that is not going to go away. We'd like to be able to protect ourselves, and we rely heavily upon the government agencies to be able to protect us from those different types of situations. But obviously, they cannot be everywhere every time. And so if we know how to respond and how to control that type of a situation, or understand our surroundings, so that we know what action to take. And obviously things are going to be different whether you are by yourself, or whether you have children, or whether your family is with you. That is going to change a lot of the type of reaction that you have. So make sure and have an idea, have a plan of what you would do, because you almost need to have that pre-setting in that situation, so that you're able to control your fear and use it to your advantage. And then a little bit with Rob McKeeman in understanding, it's not always going to be where a person is 10 or 20 foot away from you to where you're going to be able to draw easily and take care of that situation. Sometimes it's going to be within an arm's length, and you need to know how to deflect and get that firearm pointed away from you, and be able to get yourself armed if necessary. That's one thing that I thought that was great between Aaron and Rob, is they also explained in those situations, it's not always necessary that you have to pull your firearm. As we've learned in the concealed carry situation, you do everything you can before pulling that firearm. And so they kind of explain some different things that you can do before you pull, and put your life into a tough situation. And then getting a little bit more into the health side of it, understanding what our body does. Actually, I skipped. I'll talk a little bit about the health, but then I'll jump back and cover Chris Steinog and Mike Oxner. But understanding your body, and understanding how to balance it physically, not only mentally but also physically, so that you're able to improve your accuracy in different ways. That's what Adrian helps us out with. Is he teaches us there's a balance, and there's different things. If you can imagine trying to hold up a firearm for a long period of time and to be able to be accurate with that firearm, it's going to take strength, and it's going to take a lot of structural strength. So the great thing about that we've learned from Adrian is our health affects the way that we shoot, or the way that we're able to react in different types of situations as well. Todd DeVoe and Fred Kohlberg, they jump in and they teach us the medical side of it. Obviously, in dealing with these machines, there's repercussions that come with those machines, whether we're on the receiving end of it or whether we're in an area where somebody else is on the receiving end of it in an active shooter type situation. If we're able to respond, and if we're prepared to respond in that type of situation, we can save lives. It's not about just about pulling that trigger that's going to save the life, but it's also being able to treat the people that have received that trauma and be able to treat them so that their life might be saved. And it's within seconds after a situation. First, you want to make sure that you are safe, but then being able to take care of somebody else and ensure that they are stable until help arrives. That is huge. And so to understand what kind of kits that you need to carry, or what you need to carry in your kit is important. And then also knowing what steps to take with that kit, what's most important to do in that situation. And with Fred, I thought what was interesting is the most important tool in some situations is right there. If you don't have a medical kit, your finger can be the greatest tool in saving somebody's life. Going back to Chris Sinog and Mike Oxner, they have revolutionized the way that we train. Chris goes through and he discusses the different techniques that we can use mentally that help us not just in marksmanship, but also can help us in life. He sounded like a life coach to me, and I think he is. You go through the different stages and the ways that he teaches you how to focus. Those are important not just in shooting, but in life as well. And then with Mike's dry fire training, the amount of money that you can save in training that way, and then also you're putting yourself in a non-stress type environment where you're able to ingrain that muscle memory. You're able to ingrain those repetitions so when it comes time to react, your body automatically jumps in and you know exactly what to do. One of the biggest things that I picked up from those two in that as well was chunking. Is doing things, breaking it down into separate movements, so that you're training your brain in those separate movements. It's not a big long process, but training in those small processes in order to create a full training, so that you're ready to react in any type of situation. And then last but not least, Chris Serino, going over how to diagnose what you're doing wrong. Obviously, if we're training, especially if we're training at home, we need to know what we're doing wrong and how to be able to tell what we're doing wrong. And it's good to have a friend or somebody else that's able to show us that, or to be able to watch to see what we're doing in that situation. But you don't want to train wrong. And obviously there's a lot of different types of training out there, and if you notice something's not working for you, you need to change something up, or if you can find something that works out smoother for you, it's good to know where your hang up is at, and that's what Chris Serino brings us. It has been an amazing summit. There's been so much information shared. I hope that everybody was able to watch the videos and to get it, but if you didn't, there's an opportunity still for you to be able to grab hold of this information, and that's through the All Access Pass. And I'm going to go through a screen share here real quick, so that you're able to see what is involved in that, and then also what is available through the bonus side of it. So let's go ahead and go through that. I'm going to skip over here and open it up. Okay. Okay, so as we go back over here, this shows what's included in the All Access Pass. It shows all the different videos. All the videos are here, so they're yours to watch at your convenience. Obviously, with the summit, it kind of put a rush on things. I know we're all busy, and so this gives you the ability to go back and review some of the training that was given. And I know our videos were not the greatest. So if you have a hard time watching some of the videos, we also have the MP3s. available so that you can listen to them in your car. You can listen to them on a set of headphones while you're doing something else. That way that you can review everything that we have available. So coming back to the bonus items that are available, Todd DeVoe has a course on the Man It Up Academy that he has built on here. And so if I come over to the course, I can show you the syllabus so that you can see everything that is available through his course. And that's a part of the bonus that you get with the All Access Pass. So it kind of goes through all the different things that you might need to know in first response, initial assessment and treating life-threatening conditions. So you can see here, there's information, there's videos, and this is all available here on the Man It Up Academy. Is typically a fairly expensive course. You can see that it's a $199 value with that course as well. Now to go on to some of the other things that we have the Tackle Firearms Training Secrets ebook. And if you look here, it's regular $17 value. This was put on by one of our speakers, Mike Oxner. It actually kind of covers another one of our speakers, Dustin Ellerman. And so this is a book that is available through the bonus section as well. So Todd DeVoe has also put together, we already talked about the MP3s. Todd DeVoe has also put together the blowout kit, what you might want to carry in your blowout kit, and it shows a packing list for that. Now also available through that is the personal physical structure assessment. Adrian has decided to give everyone that purchases that pass a free assessment. So you basically, what you do is you would through that assessment, you would take video of yourself doing different things, and it explains it fairly well through here. Video of you squatting or doing different things like that. That way he can diagnose and kind of set you up on a plan to where you can strengthen your structure so that you'll be able to increase mobility or increase stability and become a better marksman. There's also some bonus interviews. Braden Langley, he had some other interviews with me that we're also offering through this. And then also Jay Vandergriff, he also had some other gun component breakdowns where it shows the different parts and pieces of the gun. So that's a bonus part of it as well. We are creating a Dueling Gun Summit exclusive Facebook group for all the attendees. It's something that's still in the works. We're still putting it together, but we want to make that available so that anybody with questions for future, through the trainings and different things like that, you'll be a part of that Facebook group and be able to make contact with some of these professionals so that you can get answers right away to some of the things that you might be struggling with. Also, with that, we're offering a 90% off discount code to any course in the Man It Up Academy. So the Man It Up Academy, we started this about a year ago, and it's all about teaching men skills or teaching men how to do manly things. And so we have a few courses that are available now that are on the website. You're more than welcome to go through and browse those. That's also what's a part of the All Access Pass. This has been an amazing experience. We're excited to be able to do this again. Let me switch this back over. So we're excited. We've had a huge response. We'll be doing this again in the future as a part of the Man It Up Academy, doing more summits. And we encourage for those that are out there that have information to contact us. Or if you're interested in being an instructor on our website, go ahead and contact us to become an instructor on the Man It Up Academy as well. But we want to get information especially about firearms. Our focus has been on the Dueling Gun Summit, but we're also interested to find out what else you might be interested in, that we can provide that information for you. So take the chance, send us an email or contact us through the manitupacademy.com, and we'd be happy to respond. Appreciate everyone that has been involved in this summit and everyone that has been viewing. We've had thousands of viewers every day watching and keeping up on this information all across the world. It's been interesting and amazing to see. And I'm grateful for everyone that's taken their time to enjoy this. And it has been an awesome experience. And thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.